coming up, but not before we welcome in our first guest of the day, Dave Odom, former ACC Coach of the Year, a man who has done a lot to help grow the EA Sports Maui Invitational. He joins us live on the Deseret First Credit Union Hotline. Coach, it's nice to have you back on the show. How are you?
Oh, it's terrific. I always look forward to kind of spending some time with you guys out there. You love basketball. We love BYU, and it's a perfect match.
What makes BYU such an attractive addition to high-level tournaments like the Maui Invitational?
Well, BYU, when you look at it historically, has been one of the top, I would say generously, the top 20 basketball programs in the country year in and year out. I mean, they really are. No matter what the year is, they're going to measure up, and they're going to play well. They're going to compete for their conference championship, and they're not afraid to jump on a plane and fly anywhere in the continental United States, or in our case, over across the Pacific to Maui. And when they go, they take two things with them. They take a good team that is well coached, and they take a team that is going to be followed by their supporters. And that's very important to us in Maui, that teams that we bring over there are going to bring fans, and lots of them. BYU qualifies there.
Hey, Coach, this is Brian. Nice to finally meet you. You just mentioned one of the things that was attractive to BYU in selecting them, but what are some of the other things that you guys are looking for, and what goes into the actual process of selecting these teams?
Well, brand names are really important. When you look at our history, my history as a tournament chairman and person responsible for bringing the teams over, I always want to bring teams over that I can pretty well be assured that are going to be competitive for championships when they come. That's a difficult thing to do because I'm inviting teams 4 and 5 years out. But when you look at our history, let's take a look at the coming roster of teams that we're bringing over. In addition to BYU, we've got Kansas. That's a brand name. We've got Michigan State. That's a brand name. Dayton has been over several times. At their level, they're a brand name. And then, we go into the ACC, Virginia Tech right now. And I took a shot at them with Buzz Williams coming. They won over 20 games this year. They expect to be very good again next year. That's a brand name. So I can go on and on and on like that. But Duke, North Carolina, those teams come every 4 years. Syracuse every four years. UCLA every 4 years. And I like to put BYU in that rotation if at all possible, because again, those teams are always going to be competitive, and that's important for us from a television standpoint and a product standpoint. But they also, all of those teams are going to bring large quadrants of fans over. And I think, and let's be honest, when you look at television games televised from Maui, you rarely ever see a game that's not fully supported on both sides with fans. And that's really important to us. We don't want empty stands.
Dave Odom, former ACC Coach of the Year, Tournament Chairman of the EA Sports Maui Invitational, with us on BYU Sports Nation. How do you determine the matchups for each of these teams once you get the 8 clubs to the island and you want to put the best product, the most engaging product on TV and on the floor for the fans that are there watching in person?
Well, I can tell you I do not seed them. Everybody thinks, well, what are we seeded, or what is Notre Dame seeded or whatever. I don't do that. I look at it's my job to do this, but I try to get 4 compelling first-round games that make sense for television and for fan interest. So there's no reason to ask me who BYU is going to play next year, because I don't know yet. I hadn't thought much about that. But, it's that has become a little bit more difficult because the rosters change so much with this one and done, with the graduate transfer deal. BYU has a different situation in that, you've got the mission thing to deal with. And, Dave Rose right now is probably not really sure who's coming back to be on his team. I'm sure he's thinking about it, but I usually wait until the 1st of July to start thinking about that. And then I want to try to have 4 compelling first-round games that please ESPN. I've been able to do that. And then the second-round games kind of take care of themselves. And then beyond that, it's a veritable free-fall because, I can't plan on who's matching up beyond that first round.
Let me correct myself. It is now the Maui Jim Maui Invitational. We got to get the sponsors right.
Thank you for doing that.
I don't want to put you in a hot spot. Yeah, come on,
Coach. You gotta fix that as soon as it happens. Don't let that. I know you're nice and everything, but don't let Spencer run over you like that.
Well, Maui Jim as a product and as a sponsor and as a fellow partner in the Maui Jim Maui Invitational is very important to us. And we've got other partners, but none more important than Maui Jim.
Coach, you had mentioned earlier you guys don't want empty seats, and you guys want people in the stands. So here's your opportunity to make your pitch to all the BYU fans on why they should include a trip to Maui for this tournament. Well,
BYU, I really don't worry about BYU bringing fans. I know they're going to do that, but they've got a tremendous advantage in that BYU has fans everywhere, even on the islands over there. There's a large contingent of BYU fans over there who actually are Mormons. You've got University of Hawaii, BYU. And so I really don't worry about BYU bringing fans, but I do want to encourage them to contact our website as quickly as they possibly can. And while I'm talking about it, it's MauiInvitational.com. And it does give all of the important information that they'll need to sign up. It'll talk about hotel. It will talk about the ticketing. It will talk about ground transportation. It'll talk about airline reservations. Just about everything that they're going to need to have a pleasurable trip is going to be on our website. And we want to sell as many packages as we can. And BYU, I know, is going to do their job in terms of, taking the compensatory packages that are going to be available to the Cougars.
Dave Odom, chairman of the Maui Jim Maui Invitational, with us on BYU Sports Nation, previewing why the Cougars are a good fit for that tournament coming up in November of 2019. Coach, you know a thing or two about coaching. You've been through, it seems like, everything, and certainly you've experienced a team that started slow. BYU started 8-7 this season, and the coaching staff and the players kind of scratching their heads, frustrated. Since then, they've gone 10-3 in conference and are firmly in second place behind number 2 ranked Gonzaga. What's the common denominator in helping a team turn the corner when they do start slow?
Well, in BYU's case, I think the optimum word is patience. Dave Rose knows this. I talked to him on the phone yesterday. He is very confident that his team is, well, I think they won 5 in a row, he told me yesterday, but he's confident that they're going to continue not only to win, but to get better as they go along. It's no secret that Gonzaga is the team to beat in the league, but BYU has been a team that has been very competitive with Gonzaga. St. Mary's, another team that you've got to be concerned about. But Dave told me yesterday that San Francisco may be as good as any of them outside of Gonzaga. So you've got to be patient when you're coaching at a place like BYU because of the roster turnover each and every year. Now, the one good thing about BYU is that, though their roster turns over, it turns over with some older players as they rotate back through from their mission duties. And he understands that as well. So it does take time, and this is the time of the year that you want your team to be heading towards peak performance. And as you head down to Las Vegas, you want to be playing your very, very best.
Coach, you had mentioned patience as far as one of the attributes with Dave Rose. We understand greatness and what he's done for BYU and just the consistency that he brings. As a coach, how is Coach Rose able to be so consistent even with the challenges that he faces here at BYU?
Well, he would be better to answer that to me, but in my opinion, the best thing that he has going for him is twofold. One, he has a dying love for basketball. I mean, he went to the University of Houston. He played on all of those great teams out there, played under a great coach out there. He's got a real tie to those teams that the Phi Slamma Jamma deal. And he really loves basketball. But the second thing that he has that I think is really, really important is he has a real connection to the university. He is Mormon himself. And so, it's like being, Roy Williams is a native North Carolinian. So coaching at the University of North Carolina, where he graduated from, he's got a natural connection there. And I think that's true of Dave Rose there in the state of Utah. It's, his connection with the university and the fact that he's Mormon, his wife is, and, that's where they want to be. So it's basketball and the fact that he's Mormon and, he's loyal to them.
Dave, it's great to talk to you once again. I want to point out that you helped convince Tim Duncan to stay all 4 years in college basketball, and I know that every college basketball coach would hope for guys of that caliber to stay for 4 years. So if you have the magic ingredient, please share it with Dave Rose and some of the other guys.
Well, we were at Wake Forest. We were lucky to have Tim for 4 years. We had some other good players to come along and players that were really good to help him win those championships. But again, Tim was true to us, and we appreciate that. Still love him, and we followed him all his 19, I think it was, years at San Antonio. So, listen, look forward to seeing you guys. I know you all got your tickets punched already. We look forward to seeing you guys out in Maui come November, and we'll be pulling for the Cougars to be at their very best when they get there. I promise them a good first-round pairing.
Fantastic stuff. Coach, if you don't mind, one of our favorite drops on the show is you saying "Go Cougars." So can we get an updated 2019 version of you saying "Go Cougars"?
Yeah. Anytime I can possibly help that, I will. I know that the Cougars are always growling and they're ready to go, so I can't wait to hear them when they get out to Maui, and I want to hear them say, "Go Cougars!"
Yeah.
Thanks, Coach.
Nice.
Great to catch up with you.
All right, guys.
Take care.
Talk to you soon.
All righty.
Bye-bye.
Dave Odom on the Deseret First Credit Union Hotline. Deseret First, your values, your timeline, your financial future.
I want that to be my ringtone when somebody calls me.
Go
Cougars!
I love Dave.